So our topic is glycolysis and alternate carbohydrate pathways. Glycolysis is considered the first metabolic pathway of cellular respiration to produce energy in the form of ATP. And it takes place in the cytosol. It does not require oxygen, so it can function under anaerobic conditions. It produces ATP and other products like NADH and pyruvate to produce more ATP for a cell. The process involves multiple enzymatic reactions that break down sugar, and glycolysis is in both prokaryotes and eukaryotes.
Okay, so one of the alternate pathways is the EMT pathway. It is the most commonly used pathway, and it has two phases. The first phase is the energy investment phase. It uses two ATPs to change glucose into a 6-carbon molecule called glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And the second phase is the energy payoff phase. It takes energy by oxidizing G3P to pyruvate. It creates 4 ATP and changes 2 NAD into 2 NADH using electrons from the glucose. The net gain is 2 ATP, 2 NADH, and 2 pyruvate.
The second pathway we have is the Edner-Dorndorff ED pathway. It is used in prokaryotes and uses 6-phosphogluconate dehydratase and 2-keto-3-deoxyphosphogluconate aldolase to create pyruvate from glucose. A net yield of 1 ATP and 1 NADPH for every glucose processed. An example of an organism that uses this pathway is Pseudomonas.
The third pathway is the pentose phosphate pathway. It's the PPP. This occurs in the cytosol. It breaks down glucose phosphates to produce the NADPH and pentose to create the nucleic acid. There's 2 phases. It's the oxidative and the non-oxidative. The oxidative takes the glucose 6-phosphate and converts it to ribulose 5-phosphate by 2 molecules of NADP, which reduces the NADPH. And then the non-oxidative synthesizes the 5-carbon sugars, which can be used in synthesizing of nucleic acid, nucleotides, and amino acid. And the diagram next to it shows that.
Conversion of carbohydrates. Pyruvate is produced and converts carbohydrates into fatty acids and cholesterol. If oxygen is available, the pyruvate molecules can be oxidized via cellular respiration to make more ATP, such as the citric acid cycle. Acetyl-CoA produce carbon dioxide, NADH, FADH2, and ATP. Fermentation. Oxygen is absent. NADH gives away its electrons and creates NAD+.